I'd like to welcome back my congregation that's been waiting patient for me to distribute this information about this rap game and its quality disintegration. And stop blaming Waka Flocka, he ain't why your shit ain't blazing. Maybe it's something about your lack of originality and your content is a constant bragging right about your salary. Then you're mad at me when I burn a verse like a fat calorie, and it hurts you even worse. Your woman is feeling me fanatically. Dramatically, I push myself to the brink of this art form. Of course you ain't charging me, you're a rhinoceros with no horn. I'm monstrous at home in a conflict zone. My natural tone is hazardous and slashes gashes through your blood and bone. So I answer the phone, hello? Can you call me back? I'm blowed and scribe scrolls until there's bruises in my finger folds. I'm mad and rude and spit it crude enough to start a riot. My mind's fried like everything in black and Latin people's diets. Psychotic, iconic, ironic, modest, erotic. I'm provided with a lot of excited, exotic vagina. Behind the stained glass windows with pictures of angels, where the holy water's been replaced with Judas blood to pray to. Kneeling in the pews, following the Father's maze. More crowded than Tijuana whorehouses on dollar days. I am pastor, point of being a pastor. Inside of this wicked church, I prove master.
Curse me since the first day of my birth. They thirst for what my words are worth. Once they're heard, they'll scorch the earth. They try to burn me in this church. Fire, brimstone, liars, inside the church. Unless my soul, it hurts inside this wicked church.
I've been through a lot of things that would have made you quit. Too many punchlines, she don't rhymes too quick. But if your favorite garbage artist did it, he's a genius. Monkeys dancing around, don't even speak English. Won't admit they feel me, even if they can. I'm Rembrandt. I spit in your corny camp until my lips cramp. Fiscally, I punish them. Make ass cats stand for all we see. Chino Excel, accumulating, publishing. Displaying mayhem mannerism that'll shatter your catechism. More written compositions than there's crucifixes in the Vatican. Discouraging anyone's adamant arrogance. Shooting, strangling cherubims, riding through heaven on chariots. I'm no idiot, library books try to rent me. I'm very literate, never dressing like Farnsworth Bentley. I've had it up to here and there's nothing to fear except fear itself, and even fear fears Chino Excel.
Curse me since the first day of my birth. They thirst for what my words are worth. Once they're heard, they'll scorch the earth. They try to burn me in this church. Fire, brimstone, liars, inside the church. Unless my soul, it hurts inside this wicked church.
Medically, it's sickness in my mental tissue. Psychiatrists couldn't rescue. Even my issues have got issues. Giving every dollar I make to a major, I'd rather have a blind bitch shave my balls with a razor. My hatred's creative, berate a gospel singer. Spit enough acid anger to give euthanasia to every euthanasia savior with most wicked behavior on the earth's soil. Minister tried to baptize me, the water just started to boil. They worship Steve Jobs for creating the Apple invention, ignoring the God that created the actual apple for our nutrition. Rapping about what you paid for your garments till your fragile life is ripped apart by extreme violence. Shooting you through your temple, right through the screen window of your ebook Kindle while you're reading shamefully false and culture info. Schizo, morbid novelist, ominous poison poems. Call your real estate agent, I'm about to hit you close to home. I can't lie, you wearing them tight pants confuses me. Why would a nigga wanna give his sperm count a eulogy? The lyric Jesus spitting scriptures unmercifully, but born to parents that would have lost custody to Charlie Sheen. This industry is all wrong, rap skills invisible like albino niggas hitchhiking in a snowstorm. The wicked church is hoping hip-hop will deteriorate, so I'm spazzing out like Michael J. Fox with a shake weight.
Curse me since the first day of my birth. They thirst for what my words are worth. Once they're heard, they'll scorch the earth. They try to burn me in this church. Fire, brimstone, liars.
Yo, Elon Musk had to let the F-bombs loose, and he's not here to play games with those who are trying to take him down. This isn't a pop and bottle live. Those days with Elon Musk are probably over because our interests are not converged as much as I thought they would. But the energy here that you see, this is what it's going to take to topple the system. So I will support him to a certain extent. But what's the point of having FU money if you don't say FU? We talked about this multiple times with people who are supposedly rich. You have rich is all relative, but have millions of dollars of net worth. And I'm like, what is the point of all this money if you're just going to be bitch slapped left and right? And we're looking at Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the world. If you don't count the families and the banks, you've got the number one, number two. I think he's number one right now. And he had to remind people, like, I'm not the one to F with. I think that's what the real message was here. And people heard this loud and clear. When I first saw this clip, I thought it was a deep fake.
War, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
Go ahead.
But
go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
well, let me ask you then.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think then about the economics of X? If part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift, maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from advertising. If you believe that this is the one part of your business where you will be beholden to those who have this view, what do you do?
Why?
I understand that, but there's a reality too, right?
Yes. No.
I mean, Linda
no,
Yaccarino's right here, and she's got to sell advertising.
Absolutely. So, totally. No. Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do? It's going to kill the company.
And do you think that
and the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
But those advertisers, I imagine, are going to say we didn't kill the company.
Oh yeah.
They're going to say
tell it to Earth.
But they're going to say Elon, that you killed the company because you said these things, and that they were inappropriate things, and that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform. Right? That's what they're going to say.
And let's see how Earth responds to that.
He's a little too esoteric for him. I think from now on, when an F-bomb is dropped, it must be dropped in the proper manner, and you must drop it as a conductor in an orchestra with your arm movements to make sure that everyone's in rhythm. Go fuck yourself. That's what he tried to let y'all know.
But
go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Well, let me ask you then.
So then I forget the name of the dude there. I see him all the time, but he tries to bring it back. Like, whoa. We're supposed to be controlling you. So how are you going to get your money right? And then Elon Musk, as you heard later on, says, well, the company could die. I think that's just a ploy. The company's not dying anywhere. Elon Musk has plenty of money to back it and find money to back it and to run it in a stripped down fashion. A memo to everybody, X ain't going anywhere. Now, it might slow things down. It might change his trajectory for the platform, but it ain't going anywhere. That is a ploy. And I hate to even say this in the aspect of Alex Jones. I'm a big Alex Jones fan. But, he's just such a great marketer. and you listen to the Alex Jones InfoWars show, and you would think, he's getting attacked. I'm a big supporter of Alex Jones. Don't get me wrong. He's getting attacked from all over the place, but you'd think he was a bum on the corner sometimes, where he's like, I don't know how I'm going to keep the lights on tomorrow. It's every time. It's just so dramatic, and you love Alex Jones, so it's not no beef or anything like that. But it's like, okay, bro, you put it all real thick now, and that's what Elon Musk is doing. That's why he's saying, let's ask Earth, because he's been able to do a very good job of playing this ground where there aren't many people that have some on the left and the right more than Elon Musk. Name somebody in the world. If you're going to divide people up into this arbitrary left or right, you have to put somebody in left or right box. Who has more of both of those groups in the world? Name a person. I don't think there is one. And that's why he says, let's ask Earth. Because he's like, I got the people. That's his strength. And there's a lot to unpack in that interview, more than just that clip. But it's midnight, and it's late night. I don't know how long I can go. What's up, Ray Studios? Of course, great friend of the show, Boring Life. What's up, old Jim Bob? Thanks for stopping by. For these big lives, this one intersects with basically everything I'm passionate about. When you talk about politics, social issues, business, Tesla, Cybertruck, Mars. And it's just, whenever your Elon topic comes up, it's a pretty big one for me. So I'm energized to do it tonight. Thanks for stopping by. It's a big one. It's a one topic live, but as usual, these topics kind of blend in together a little bit. But when you look at Elon Musk, I want to reset and remind that this is a dude net worth anywhere from $180 billion to $237 billion net worth. And that's not even counting the worth of the company, the net worth of the companies he's involved with. We all know, let's break that down. This is where this is coming from. Elon Musk himself forget about the trillionaire stuff. That's a wrap. He's going to be a trillionaire. He's going to be a multi-trillionaire, in my opinion. I don't know how long, like 20 years, I don't know how long that's going to take. A trill is nothing. This dude, let's just look at Tesla. When you look at Tesla right now, you've got the auto part of it, and not even looking at the solar, I don't know how much that's going to go, not even looking at the mega packs, which these are the big packs that could replace some of the electrical grid. Forget about all that. Just look at the auto part and then the robot part. Forget about AI, the auto part and the robot part, each, when it's all said and done, are going to be trills by themselves, 1 trillion by themselves. Everybody who can afford a robot in their house to fold their laundry, to do their dishes, to climb up on the house and put the Christmas lights on is going to buy a robot for $20,000. Apple doesn't have one. Microsoft doesn't have one. This guy is more powerful than people give him credit for. And if it's so easy, if to do all this is so easy, why isn't anybody else doing anything that we've seen this broad do? That's just Tesla. I'm not even bringing into the AI dojo. I'm not even bringing in the solar. I'm not even bringing in the megapack. That's just the cars that will be robots, robo-taxis, that will happen. And then the robots themselves. Just look at those two things. That's $1 trillion each. Then on top of that, you have Starlink, where you have other countries kind of begging Elon Musk, can we use your internet? We kind of have a war going on. They're not going to Tim Cook for internet access. They're not going to Microsoft. They're not going to NBC for that. What I'm saying here is Elon Musk by himself, I don't know if you want to call him a country or an entity. I haven't even talked about SpaceX. If you don't even care about space, don't worry about that from a defense standpoint. Just SpaceX. This bruh is more important than just that is more important than many other people on the face of the planet. So if you look at Tim Cook and Apple, you don't think you'd be jealous? That's supposed to be you. Tim Cook took over Apple, and Steve Jobs, if he, and rest in peace, if he were still alive, he would have taken Apple in a direction more where Elon Musk took Tesla. Why doesn't Apple have a car? Of course they should have a car. Why doesn't Apple have satellites? They should have satellites. You look at Apple, and they pulled, the reason I'm bringing up Apple, they pulled their pause or whatever they call it. They just chose not, which is their prerogative. That's why he went with the FU. What can you really do? He can sue Media Matters all he wants, but Apple does not have to, they don't have to advertise on his platform. So just look at Apple. Apple's a big one, $3 trillion probably worth by itself. They don't have robots. They're way behind in AI. Microsoft is ahead of them in AI. And the OpenAI company, who was one of the co-founders, he's not with them anymore. It was Elon Musk. He's just everywhere. So, and that's where Microsoft teamed up with OpenAI, and I'm using ChatGPT for a lot of this stuff. Do you see the problem? Apple's used to people paying them to go through and to get, Google paying Apple to be the default search engine. Elon Musk isn't paying them anything. With Tesla, I think he's doing more advertising now. I'm not following it as closely. Back when I was following it, it was zero advertising. In America, not 1 cent of advertising. And then now you look at Apple, they've fallen behind on every single thing. They got the augmented glasses coming. Elon Musk is like, augmented glasses? I'm going to put a chip in your brain. We're going to do augmented straight to the source. Apple got nothing on that. They're behind. So they look at Elon Musk, and he's the threat. So if you look at it, even if I'm wrong, I know Ray Studios disagrees. I respect. I always leave room to be wrong. I still think within a certain spectrum, don't go too high, China's number one. China is the number one spot. So if you're looking at China as taking over as the world power, I mean, we've got a tranny LGBTQ army. They're over there. They're advancing their forces. And I mean, this is not even a debate about who's taking over as a world power. We're just not going to be that. So China takes over as a world power slowly, hopefully peacefully. That transition will happen. Everybody in the U.S. sees the U.S. as the Titanic, and they look at Xi Jinping. He just came through San Francisco, and you saw what happened. All the big companies, some of the same companies who are boycotting or pulling their ads from Elon right now, were over there on their knees. Everybody's in line, ready to suck off Xi Jinping. Even Elon is there. So the one thing they all agree on is Xi Jinping, we got to go do that. They don't treat Biden like that. They don't treat Trump like that. There's no American figure they treat like that. They cleaned up the poop. DeSantis just annihilated. If you saw DeSantis just completely annihilated Newsom. I did not predict that. I don't know what Newsom is. I don't know. He reminds me of a crackhead. It seems like he reminds me of Zelensky a little bit because he's always moving. And it's almost like, bruh, do you need to take a hit to calm down or something? I don't know what's wrong with him. He's so weird. He made DeSantis look normal. But DeSantis brought out the poop signal. DeSantis was like, here's the map of the human feces in your goddamn, in the one of the most beautiful cities in the world, used to be at least. Here's the map of the human feces that you got to walk around. How about that? And you cleaned it up for a communist dictator. And that was, I don't know what's going on. That Newsom thing was not good for him. But so you see, they all go to him. Newsom probably is like, I'm the teacher's pet. I just went to China. I got coronated by Xi Jinping. I don't need to prepare for a debate. I don't need to be, my mannerisms don't have to look normal. I can look like Patrick Bateman. It doesn't matter. I'm American Psycho. Okay, what? Xi Jinping's behind me. So all these people are angling underneath Xi for the teacher's pet. They know she's going to be in power for quite a bit. And even if he's not in power, he's going to be the one to transition it pretty much. And they're all fighting for his love. That's all this is. And I'm going to go through that and then come back to it. Let's take a look at some of the comments for people. Thanks for stopping by for the live. Ray Studios says, Cassandra McDonald told me that she doesn't care about someone being able to know what she thinks controls what she does as long as it allows her to play the video game with her monkey. Weird. Oh, I'm a huge supporter and fan of Cassandra McDonald. I like people who have courage, man. I put way more on courage than even whether I agree with you or not. And that's the first thing that comes to my mind. When I see Cassandra McDonald, man, I'm like inspirational type courage. She doesn't give a damn. She has her principles and she says it, and you better come right or respect or she's going to annihilate you. So I'm kind of more in her lane. Ray probably knows that as far as like the chip in the brain. I'm probably more in her lane with that. But thanks. It's cool. She told you. Are you chatting with Cassandra? If you don't know, she's the one that does some of the booking for Tim Pool. Metalopoly saw a video of a classroom in China. They had young kids taking guns apart and putting them back together. Yeah, we're screwed. Yeah, they know the artillery. They know the weapons of all the countries. Now, I don't think that's every school out there, but I've seen videos. Can you find one video of an American school that knows anything like that? Not that I'm saying that's the arbiter of intelligence, but we are more on the he, she, they, them, zers. They're on some other stuff. They're on the next level. So I hate to say it, but that's why I don't like when people say we're winning, and maybe we are. I don't know. I'm not saying that we're not, whatever that means, we're winning. I'm not saying we're not, but I don't know how to even quantify that. There's some good things happening, some bad things happening. Trump won tonight's debate. Trump always ends up being the winner, man, because he's just so smooth. And I'm out because I need to see you debate. If you're a politician that doesn't want to debate, you're like, you're like a horse that can't run a race. You serve no purpose for me if that's what I want to do. But you're right. Trump always wins because he's just always the cool guy. He's just always, he's never forced. You look at Newsom tonight, he was just forced. And even when Trump is unprepared, he will do something funny. And he's just a special type of dude, man. So he always wins. That's true. Whether he goes to debate or not, whether he's prepared or not, he's always winning. He's a damn winner. Boring life. That's why they have to sabotage. They know he's a winner. That's why they have to stack the deck against him. They have to manipulate. They have to literally rig an election from the top to bottom in the swing states. Just a flat out overtly rig an election because he's hard to stop, man. So I'm going to continue on with this here, and I'm going to kind of take a turn. Why is this important? There's a couple reasons why this is important. Why is Twitter important? We got to reset that. Tesla had their Cybertruck delivery event. So let's get to the positive event. This is the peak of American ingenuity. This is the peak of American innovation. This is the type of stuff where you see there's some great Twitter accounts out there that kind of show like this is what American architecture should look like. Imagine if we took all the money that we used to kill innocent Iraqis in Afghanistan and poured into Ukraine, as Mitt Romney said, and there's no one dying. No, the Ukrainians are dying, but we're not dying. Imagine we took all those billions, kept it in the country, and somehow used it for positive things, kind of like what China does. What do you think San Francisco would look like right now? We'd have flying cars, we'd have Cybertrucks on the road. I mean, it'd be just insane. And not just San Francisco, but just damn near any city. If you kind of took that money, kept it in America, built up America, the country would be light years ahead of where it is right now. You wouldn't be worried about feces in the streets of San Francisco. You probably wouldn't even be worrying about people running down the street with a Palestinian flag, interrupting the Christmas ceremony in New York. But that's where we are. But the Cybertruck, I bring that up to say the Cybertruck represents that American power. It was American muscle at one point. Now this is the new American muscle. This is complete, utter, pure brilliance is what this is. And Elon Musk, imagine if Elon Musk didn't have Twitter, if he didn't have X. Where does he go to promote his Cybertruck delivery event? Tell me. I'll wait. There's nowhere. There's no platform. Who's he going to go to? Instagram? You think he's going to get a fair shake there? What American major outlet is he going to go to promote and he doesn't even need that much promotion for it, because once you see it, you share it. That's the best type of promotion. And if he doesn't have X, he doesn't have a place to go. There's nowhere. He doesn't have his own platform. Even if you start your own platform, how do you get it populated? That money can't even buy that. Like the amount of people you have on X. That's from his standpoint, and that helps America too. And I agree with it too. There's some convergence there. That's the importance of it. Cybertruck, after 4 years of delays and missteps, you see, even The Verge, they started out with 4 years of delays and missteps. Well, you had the pandemic stuff in there, and it's not like Tesla hasn't been a success through that 4 years. But whatever. 4 years of delays and misstep, as The Verge says. You see how you can take something, and I started with this is whether you even like the design or not, the idea, the concept is American brashness, braggadociousness, unafraid, courageous, bold, American ingenuity. That's how I started. They started after 4 years of delays and missteps. I mean, that's fair if you want to put that in there. That's how they start the article. Yeah. The Tesla Cybertruck has finally arrived. Tesla CEO Elon Musk hosted a delivery event at the company's factory in Austin, Texas. This dude just had the rocket launch. He was just in Israel, doing what every political leader or business leader has to go to Israel to bend the knee. And he went to Israel and bend the knee. So he's in Israel bending the knee. And then now he's doing the SpaceX launch. And then now it's the Cybertruck launch. You can see the power this bruh has. The cheapest rear wheel, they never start with the cheapest version. That's the lowest margins. It's going to start at about $61,000, which is not a bad price, believe it or not, if you can afford that. I know it sounds like a lot, but if it's starting at that, you're probably going to be out the door 66 to 70,000. It's not bad. But that's pushed out to 2025. That's the cheapest. It's not all-wheel drive. It's just the rear wheel drive. Now, keep in mind, the weight is on the floor. You don't necessarily need a dual motor Tesla to be able to go into snow. You won't be able to do off-roading, but you can go over most snow with good tires with a rear view, because the weight, there's no engine. The weight is evenly distributed, and you don't have the slipping and sliding like you do with the conventional engine with the weight in the front and the rear view. That doesn't work. Again, they talk about how it was originally slated. Okay, whatever. The Cyber Beast, $100,000, actually not that bad. There's going to be more. That range is not great, $320. I'm disappointed to see that, but it's heavier than I thought it was going to be. I think it's about 4 tons, but it's still an impressive beast. These are actually pictures from me. I went and saw it in Colorado. Saw it in person for the first time. It's great. Took my kids. In person, it's more impressive in person. That's what I'll say. It's longer than I thought. It's more of a beast than I thought. The shape kind of just attracts you to, like, wow, there's some curves in the front. There's actually some curves in it, believe it or not. But then you have the triangular shape to it. I didn't get to see the interior, but beautiful, beautiful looking vehicle. Those are my kids goofing around while we took the picture there. And that's the importance for him. But before I go to, I have Colin McGregor there. Before I do that, I do want to give a taste of the event. Let's keep it on some. This is it's a great story, a great American story. It's a union free shop, And I'm actually not against the concept of unions. I'm just against these unions who have been dominated by the Democratic Party machine. Let me fast forward to just give you a taste of the Cybertruck event. The thing looks like CGI in real life. It doesn't even look real. We've never seen anything like this on the face of the planet. Now, keep in mind, my take is that that's going to be a Mars rover. And they might redesign it. It's probably too heavy, but I don't know that for sure. To put on the rocket, I mean, eventually you're going to have that on Mars or the moon. That's what it's really designed for, in my opinion. And you'll have some Tesla bots with it too. You're not going to have humans get to Mars. You're going to have the robots, in my opinion. So he's showing it off. Everything is about getting to Mars and just making money. That's the brilliant part of it. It's like, I need this thing to get to Mars, and let's make money along the way because it's cool stuff. Let's sell it, mass produce it. Here's Elon Musk going to take the stage here, and he talks about the toughness, and there's some really cool stuff here. They took a gun to this thing. This thing's pretty tough. Let me bring it back here to the rollover test.
And if you're ever in an argument with another car, you will win.
This is a man's vehicle. This ain't for a woman. Let's be flat out honest about it. So there's some women who like it, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, it's a man's. These commercials are for men. They hit it with a .45 caliber Tommy gun, and the bullets are falling apart. I have no desire for a truck. But if I won the lotto, it's a wrap. The number one thing I would get. There's this cool video that they showed during the event where they actually did a race between a Porsche and the Cybertruck. And then I'll end with that before I look at some comments and get into Ireland and tie that Ireland stuff into Twitter. So here it is. Cybertruck versus a Porsche 911. What do you think's going to win? There's a surprise at the end if you have not seen this, though. So we got the Cybertruck going straight up against the Porsche.
But wait, there's more.
The Porsche lost to the Cybertruck, and the Cybertruck is towing another Porsche. That's dope advertising. That's just how fast it is, instant torque. So you can imagine how difficult it is. You have a great product like that, and really, what's the framing on it? Where are people talking about it? It's on X. You can't depend on Alphabet, Google. They wish they had a Cybertruck. Why would they be promoting a Cybertruck in their search engine? Apple's jealous beyond belief. They don't even have a car, and they should. They should have a car. Steve Jobs is rolling over in his grave. Let me see what comments before we get to Ireland. What do y'all think about the Cybertruck? TNT Cycles PDX says electric motorcycles are insane. Can't beat the acceleration. See, I don't like those only because it's the safety factor, but you can call me kind of soft when it comes to motorcycles. Very soft. The safety factor concerns me, but yeah, that's crazy. They have an off-road version of the Cybertruck that's electric, but it's more for kids. It's not really that fast. And would you get the Cybertruck? Healthy young men, yes. He was in Utah. Oh, what's up, Jordan Lott? Friend of the show. Jordan Lott met RFK. Let's look at that. Jordan Lott, bro, I just shook hands with RFK Jr. I'm never going to wash my hands again. I didn't expect that. I know you've been a big fan from the beginning of RFK. I am not as big of a fan of RFK. I have a lot of respect for them, don't get me wrong. But that's funny, man. That's great that you got to meet him. Taco for speaker. Is Taco in the chat? But yeah, man, that's great. You met him in Utah. Cool. That's cool beans, man. Like to see people in the race. RFK has a different perspective, so even I'm not the biggest Cornel West fan, even though I like his personality. I like to see him in the race. Marion Williamson, the more the merrier, really, to me. And especially in this race where there's a lot of people who don't like Trump or Biden and they want to look at alternatives. I just wish that, I'm kind of salt because my boy Dr. Shiva Adori doesn't get that shine, but that's how life works. You gotta go fight for it. People will try to keep you down. That's for sure. What's going on here? Were you TNT Cycles? Were you there during Chaz Chopped? Was somebody out there in Portland? Chaz, was that Portland or Seattle? I forgot what it was. Portland. I already forgot where Chaz Chop was, man. My memory is terrible. I don't even keep that stuff inside. Let's go to Ireland. So you see why I say X's. That's just the Cybertruck. Elon Musk needs public perception for all of his products. What do you think, Neuralink? A lot of people have hesitations. They're scared about Neuralink. So Bill Gates and others are putting their money in another company to fight Neuralink. Obviously, they're going to be in with the major media and they're going to try to scare the hell out of you for the Neuralink. And then when their product's ready, it's going to be all great. And how do you fight this public problem? Starlink. So Starlink goes up and Elon Musk lets one country use it, another one doesn't get to use it, and they just destroy him in the media. That public perception matters. Remember the Disinformation Governance Board? How did that get fallen? How did they get taken apart? Really simply because of X and Jack Posobiec and public perception. So that still plays a role. He wants to get to Mars. You can't get to Mars without the help of public perception. So if public perception turns on Elon Musk, say tomorrow X is gone, public perception turns on him sideways. There's no place for him to go, and no one's going to support SpaceX or the government subsidizing it, or not that he might not even need the government, but he will need the government's clearance, even if they don't subsidize any part of it. But he has a deal with them to take him to the moon. We'll see if that happens. Let's go ahead and look at Ireland. Why is it important? This meme was being tossed around in just online and supposedly in Ireland circles. I did not independently confirm that, but this is a meme with you see Colin McGregor in the front and a bunch of young men with the Irish flag, and they are all strapped and looking like, angry, kind of giving you that I don't want to say revolution. It's giving you that takeover with violence vibe in this meme. And the reason why I bring that up is this is in regards to, if you don't, just in case somebody doesn't know, there is an Algerian man who took Irish citizenship. I thought it was about 20 years ago. I'm seeing this 10. I got to look at the facts. But this is from Robbie Starbuck, very reliable dude. He said about around 10 years ago, police knew who he was. Oh, that's when he got his official citizenship. I think he arrived before then. The police knew who he was because of previous incidents. And the Washington Post tries to make it sound like he wasn't a migrant because he was a citizen. No, he was a migrant who became a citizen and really lived off the public dole the whole time. I don't think he really had a steady job the whole time. Just really a crazy person who has no business being there in that country. And that's why it stoked a lot of concern. But so I bring up that picture here to say that, this picture showing the guns, that ain't the way. Now, I understand the problems. Let's reset some of these problems here that's happening in Ireland. It's very important because I don't care about Ireland because I don't live in Ireland. But this is really a serious thing, man. When you hear this type of verbiage, this is the same verbiage we hear in America. And they just go on with this white privilege and the white this, and it's like, damn.
Privilege, and it hadn't really occurred to me that I had white privilege as well, but now listening to you I understand that I do have a privilege.
I think we shouldn't forget that our parliament still looks very male, very stale and pale.
Of course you can say that. You're a middle-class white man. So you view the law completely different to somebody who is a traveller, to somebody who...
So how does it happen where,
to somebody who's maybe a member of the
you know,
Roma community?
they
So
step
the
up
very,
and
very
they
difference,
say,
you know
hey,
that
we don't
doesn't treat you
like
the same.
the way that
Doesn't treat you the
everything's
same.
happening
You, as a
in
white privileged man,
the
how does
country?
my debt impact your life?
How does that happen where now you're racist for saying, hey, I don't, the way that this is happening, we're not going for it. So Connor's, I don't know what's going on with it, but Conor McGregor is under investigation, to my knowledge, for hate speech in Ireland.
I often observe young people as they walk together. One of their party or two of their party will be from, their background maybe from a different country, and they are, celebrating that and they're engaged in that much more so than the very dull, white, pasty Ireland that I grew up in. I think what we need to do in our own political system is to call out the hypocrisy of standing in a parliament like this, full of white people, and saying as racism is something that...
So there's 3 minutes and 38 seconds of that, of clips of their politicians with open, overt hate of white men. And so you look at it, how does it happen that your country is in this place and America's right in the same place? How does that happen? That's how it happens. These politicians have gotten into power. I don't know how their system works, if they got voted or what, but that's how it happens. So my comment on this meme was, okay, I know it's a meme. It just might represent something. People might not want to go straight to violence with it. But this is after you did have riots. Who was doing the riots? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Whoever's doing the riots, it's just stuff of Neanderthal. It's stupid. I'm going to tie this back into X. Ireland isn't being changed with guns. Why would you circulate a meme with guns in order to fight back? You need strategy, sophistication, leadership. Those people did not get into power using a gun and forcing their way in. And because if they did, then you using a gun is self-defense. But that's not what they did. They came in with a philosophy. They blindsided everybody. That's what they did throughout the whole world. Nobody knew. You wake up and now you're seeing all this stuff and it's still shocking. And you need leadership, political planning, and you need good philosophy, marketing, everything. None of these things require a weapon. I said this visual meme of Conor McGregor with the gun in front, you can see that people are desperate for a leader. So you have Conor McGregor in the front with the gun, all these men in the back with the gun. It is an antiquated notion of rebellion. That's why I'm very, very big on talking about the revolution. The revolution was a self-defense stance. They had the Declaration of Independence. And basically what they said is our being, our breathing is from God. It has nothing to do with you and the king. We are done with you. We are separated from you. We are independent from you. And we don't need to give you any other justification or notice than this. We're declaring our independence. It's not a declaration of war. And then, so they weren't trying to go across the pond and take over territory. They said, here's our ideology. We believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is libertarianism. That's the beautiful philosophy, basically, is what they broke it down to, influenced by Locke and others. Madison wrote it. And they said, we're now independent. We don't want any beef. We don't want any fighting. You go do you, and we'll do us. And that wasn't good enough for England, so they came through, and the revolution was a self-defense. Like, you didn't hear us. This is our land, and we're not paying you any taxes anymore. You're going to have to negotiate with us like a different country, and your soldiers came over here, and we're defending ourselves. That's what happened. It was not a riot or some violent throws. Nope. Even the Civil War was not. The same thing happened with the South. The South was like, we want to do these. We want to do slavery. We want to do whatever we want to do. We're out. And I obviously don't condone slavery, but if they want to be out, they can be out. We're not in slavery technically times now, but if the blue states want to live with human feces, they can go live with human feces. They just need to be a different country peacefully. So I said, this depiction is a red herring. This is through I'm not that good with words. This is through ChatGPT and tweaking with it. Yet this depiction is a red herring, a misguided narrative that perpetuates the illusion that societal evolution is a battle won through physical might. Such a portrayal underestimates the formidable power of strategic discourse. That's what China believes in. And the kind that forges alliances not from shared outrage, but from shared ideals. True revolution is not the offspring of arms, but the progeny of astute leadership and philosophical debate. It is an intricate dance of ideas where choreography involves long-term planning and intellectual rigor. Change, when it is to be enduring and meaningful, because no change happens from a riot, must be sculpted with the chisel of diplomacy and the hammer of enlightened policy, not the blunt force of agitation. And it makes it, I kind of like that because it makes it real clear if somebody's for violence or you say, wait, I'm not for violence and they have a problem with that, then you know, fed, or if they're not a fed, you just need to stay away. The image, it's just my opinion. And the image in question, though, charged with a visceral immediacy, fails to capture the essence of progress. It is through the collective engagement in reasoned dialogue and the unyielding pursuit of justice through peaceful means, that's why I liked MLK a lot, that societies reshape themselves. That's why I liked MLK more than Malcolm X, especially pre-Mecca Malcolm X. To cling to the archaic image of change through confrontation is to deny the evolutionary potential of human intellect and the transformative power of nonviolent action. It is within the crucible of thought, not tumult, that the future must be forged. How are you going to do a future like that? How are you going to, not in a nonviolent way, be able to connect with people and get your ideas out there, get planning through, win an idea of philosophy? You need a platform like X. That's the importance of this of the platform. So I wanted to start with that to say this is not like people sometimes look at social media like it's just, it's just stupid social media. You go on there and you look at pictures of dolls or whatever you're into. You look at Beyonce, or Beyonce's now white, or, you look at all these different things and people laugh and they look at sports. It is much more important than that. We just saw more discussion here in the hearing today of everything the government did to censor people. It's just clear this platform is the town square. It is the First Amendment, basically. And that's where, and Elon's not there. That's why I'm going to later on talk about, you can't support Elon. I'm not supporting Elon Musk. I'm supporting the First Amendment. And Elon Musk isn't at the First Amendment, so he needs to be pushed just like anybody else. But that's the importance of the platform. When you look at the advertisers leaving, you have to start with Linda Yaccarino. Why is she still employed with X? What purpose does she serve? When she first came in, advertisers left, they did this pause, and then they came back. The whole purpose of her being hired was for her to make sure the advertisers stay on board. The whole purpose of getting in bed with the World Economic Forum was for you, Elon, to get some of that pull to keep the advertisers in line with him. That's the whole purpose of her. Why is she still there? You're having tumult. Elon Musk would have had this same tumultuous problem without her. It's just more evidence to me that he works for her. That's my opinion on this. It doesn't line up. A lot of people, I haven't heard anybody else agree with that, or that's my opinion on it. Because if he didn't work for her, she would be fired right now. There's no purpose. She doesn't serve any purpose. She backed Elon Musk publicly after he said "F yourselves" to advertisers. And I'm hearing people saying, yeah, look, I said, oh, look, I thought that she was supposed to be World Economic Forum and she's backing Elon Musk. How is she backing Elon Musk? The way that she would back Elon Musk is to make sure the advertisers stay. That's her job. This right here, what else is she supposed to say? She's going to come straight out and say, I disagree with Elon Musk? What other take could she possibly have and keep her job? I mean, even though I think Elon works for her in a way, like, that just would be too odd. It would ruin the whole plan of having Elon Musk doing the dirty work for them. So that's not a great take. I don't understand the take where, oh, look, she's supposed to be this person that for the people, basically. I'm hearing dissidents saying this. I'm hearing people support Linda Yaccarino, active member of the World Economic Forum. Is there any other active member of the World Economic Forum that people on the populist side support? I don't know of the name. Linda Yaccarino's appointment as Twitter CEO by Elon Musk was primarily aimed at addressing the platform's advertising challenges, particularly in light of the exodus driven by Elon Musk's, and that's why I have to go through and re-edit this, his makeover of the platform. They said it's my writing, but they said right-wing makeover of the platform. That's nonsense. It's more into an Elon. It's not populist. It's not free speech. It's an Elon-friendly makeover of the platform. That's what the platform has been made over to. It's not made over to any type of free speech. Please stop with that. You can't be cheering Linda Yaccarino, the one that did those bars. She's like beatboxing on the lunch table. You've got the freedom of speech but not reach. You can say something that's lawful, but it might be awful. That's the person you're supporting. That's obviously, you can't have that position and talk about freedom of speech. And then Elon Musk goes to the country that everybody, I guess every Milei, what's his name, the Geert, I forget his last, the Dutch guy. All these people have to bend the knee to Israel. And he went there and did that, came back and said, you know what? Decolonization is now a term that should be banned. Huh? From the river to the sea should be a term that should be banned. Elon Musk said this. The person that a lot of people are propping up as free speech. Elon Musk said that. I watched a lion literally eat a man's leg on Twitter. Yet you can't say from the river to the sea. I saw, this might be one of the most disturbing videos I've ever seen. I've seen a lot on X. My X is unfiltered. I saw a Middle Eastern person doing relations with a goat, literally, on X. But if you say decolonization, that's a no-go. Makes no sense at all. It's not free speech. You can't even talk about free speech with that kind of nonsense on your platform. To even, I don't know how much they're enforcing that, but he said it. So that's where I'm saying you've got to push these people. And Linda Yaccarino, she came from NBC Universal. What's one of the companies that pulled their advertising from X? It was NBC Universal. So that's odd. And looking at it, I'm not going to say that she's a setup or anything like that, but she just literally left NBC, so she knows people there. She left NBC Universal. So you would think if she had any worth at all, at least NBC Universal would have stayed. What is her purpose? Why isn't anybody asking Elon this instead of bigging her up? She should be let go immediately. If I'm wrong and Elon Musk is really the boss, she should be fired yesterday. She doesn't have a purpose any longer. He can go through this back and forth with advertisers without her. Yacarino's tenure at NBC Universal was marked by significant accomplishments. This is why she was hired, overseeing nearly $10 billion in advertising revenue across NBC's portfolio. She was big on the Peacock platform as well. And so you saw, okay, let's ignore the WEF stuff for a second. You can see why there's a legitimate case to be made for hiring her. She's joined the ad council, though, in 2014. And as chair, she partnered with the Biden administration in 2021 to create a coronavirus vaccination campaign that featured Pope Francis. She also talked about Black Lives Matter, social justice. She's completely in every single establishment talking point there is. And she was a Trump appointee, of course. Trump appointees, just a record of really bad appointees. There's many reasons for that, but that's just a fact. And so that's why they chose her for Twitter. And I'm like, Elon, get out from underneath her. That don't make any sense to me. I'm going to end with this here. Elon Musk in this confrontation with advertisers, and then I'll look at comments after I'm done, it's more than just a normal corporate skirmish. It's a micro battle of a larger issue. Elon Musk is the head honcho right now. He's the man out there. And you've got people like Apple, Disney's falling off, of course. I mean, lost $1 billion on, look at some of their properties, lost $1 billion on some of these, $1 billion lost on properties that you should be able to float a Chat GPT script and with the Marvels and make money. And they're just blowing money, wasting money, breaking off people, all different types of jobs and unnecessary roles in the company, bloat. Elon Musk is trimmed down. So you look at Apple, Disney, these pro-Israel groups as well. They want to have status in the world. And the American Uniparty, you saw UAW going after Twitter, after Tesla, saying, hey, we need to unionize Tesla. All that is the Uniparty trying to get into Tesla to be able to control them. And that's what they're doing with Amazon, too. This is rooted in a geopolitical struggle. Who will better appease China? That's what it's about. So when you look at all the different people who said, well, we're going to put some money into it and we're going to cancel Disney Plus, I say I subscribe. I have the Twitter Premium. I don't advertise on it. I would. It's not that I don't. But if I'm going to try to virtue signal and say I'm going to spend money on X to support X, because that's what people are doing. They're canceling Disney and all that. You got to force X to be where you need X to be. The algorithm is still not public. He releases basically a static version of the algorithm. It can change at any second. There's people still shadow banned for all kinds of things on there. There's no transparency yet. Elon, make it. What's the excuse now that the advertisers are gone to the point where you're literally saying F you? The advertisers are that far gone. What's the excuse for Alex Jones not being on the platform? What's the excuse for Nick Fuentes to be using Autumn Graper? Why isn't Nick Fuentes on the platform? What's the excuse? If you really want to do a F you, then that's how you would do the F you. Oh, you're pulling out. Well, that's the end of your leverage. Guess what? The boys are back in town. We got them all out here. Every single one that you think is the anti-Semitic this or that, they all coming back. You don't have any leverage anymore. Why hasn't he done that? That's the true FU. And that's where it takes you, me, and you gotta look at some of these influencers who are really sucking up to Elon Musk. Man, you need to be, for me to respect you on this take here, you need to be sucking up to a value. And for me, it's the First Amendment. He ain't there. Elon Musk was beefing with Steve Bannon. That's not a friend. That's not a ally of mine. Not in the way he was beefing with Steve Bannon's banned on Twitter. He's banned on Twitter, but Elon Musk is beefing with him on Twitter. That's craziness, and it was all over China. So that's the problem there with it, and I will support Elon Musk if he can go ahead and get Twitter in more of a free speech stance. I ended with, his stance, while polarizing, raises critical questions about the integrity and tensions of major global players in the geopolitical chess game. Are they serving their own nations or principles, or are they bending to the will of a new world leader for short-term gains? In Elon Musk's case, this is long-term gains. Musk's challenge to the status quo exposes the often unseen undercurrents of international power dynamics, where allegiance and influence are constantly at play. And I will say, I think Elon Musk's ultimate goal is to download his consciousness into a robot. I'm being dead serious. To download his consciousness into a robot and for it to be able to be transported to another planet. We don't know how much time we have on this planet. Probability is well before the life expectancy of Earth that we will blow it up with nuclear bombs or some other disease or something. And that's the purpose of, Elon Musk wants to start making Mars habitable. Download your consciousness into a file on the internet, put it in a robot, and technically you will be able to live as long as you can keep that file. And Elon Musk could be on Mars, and you need another planet because Earth, we don't know what's going on with Earth. So that's my take on the Elon Musk. Let me do some comments and I'll be out. Yeah, good timing. AJ needs reinstated. Absolutely. So why wouldn't I'm not going to tell them what to do, but why wouldn't certain people who said, I'm going to put more money into advertising for X, why wouldn't you say, yeah, we'll put some money into X1 right after you bring AJ back? How about that? That's a power move. Just supporting Elon Musk that's not a virtue. That's not a value. So I don't value that. If you pool your money together, you can say, Elon Musk, here's where we need you to be. And then we can help you out. Because his interests are not fully converging with mine. Boring Life says, I investigate myself. I'm sure enough I'm innocent. If you block the list, you're volunteering for the wood chipper. What are you guys talking about? I like Steve Bannon. Do you believe in limits of free speech? Yeah, the only limits to any of the rights is not to infringe on someone else's right. So that's the limit. And, there's some gray areas. I'm not an expert in there, but if your speech infringes on someone else's rights, then that's problematic. So that's the only problem. So you have to define, when does my speech infringe on someone else's rights? From the river to the sea is not infringing on anybody's rights. There's no way, shape, or form. Decolonization is not infringing on anybody's rights in any way, shape, or form. Elon Musk should not be telling me what the phrase from the river to the sea means. Nah, you can't do that. That's just a power play. Who are you to tell me what a phrase means? Keep in mind, if I say, I just talked about how revolution was a defensive stance, but people don't understand that or don't agree. And I say, the constant phrase is, the answer to 1984 is 1776. The answer to the vaccine is 1776. Then what that is if somebody took over for Elon Musk, they could say, well, that's a violent phrase. No, that's not a violent phrase. Don't tell me what it is. I'll tell you what I mean by it. If you want to ask, you can. But that's the same thing as from the river to the sea. You just make that whatever you want, violent phrase. I don't care what you think. I don't care what the history is. I don't care what you think it is. I can tell you what it means. So that's a very big problem. It has nothing to do with Israel or Palestine. It's just from the standpoint, you can't tell me what a phrase means, period. Just like somebody might say I'm a Marxist. Marxism comes with violence. And I had that MAGA versus Marxism. We're gonna do more of those with Noah. Shout out to Noah. But there's an undercurrent of Marxism that I don't think he's violent. Let's make that clear. But when you say Marxism, it's by any means necessary to overthrow the bourgeois. So that's a concern there. But if somebody controls the app and says, "Oh no, Noah is violent now because he's Marxist," nah, man, I don't like that. You don't. I'm a grown ass man. Don't. I'm not infringing on anybody's rights. Don't tell me what my words mean. I'll tell you what they mean. I am not your sub. You see, that is really concerning. I was really, really disturbed by that from Elon Musk. He's so brilliant in certain areas, but then he's just so aloof and lost in others. Because he came back from Israel and he was really deep into that, like that decolonization. He was like, man, that's calling for genocide. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? You can have that take, but banning the word is ridiculous. Oh, thanks. Old Jim Bob said he enjoyed the Marxism live stream. Yeah, let me know what you might want to hear. My thought for the next one that we do, I want to kind of narrow in on what he really liked about Stalin. That's what I wanted to kind of get into, and from the standpoint of what are the good ideas that you think Stalin had that would be pertinent to America's socialism? Because Noah's not an enemy. That's how I look at people. Like, okay, we can build. He's got respect. He has his take. He's his conviction and knowledge with his take. And you have to be able to look at, just because somebody says they're a Marxist, are they an enemy or not? They're not. We might disagree on certain things, but that's not a political enemy of mine. And that's how I look at RBN, Revolutionary Black Network. They're more race-based than me and all, and there's certain things we disagree on. Marching down the street with Palestinian flags, I believe Rome Bethea did that. I'm like, that's cringe, bro. I side with them more on the Israel stuff, but marching down the street with a foreign nation's flag, that's just beyond ridiculous. But that Rome is not an enemy of mine, a political enemy of mine, even though he's very race-based and all that. Boring Life says Stalin made the transition knee run on time. What was that? The trains. No, that was Mussolini. That was Mussolini, wasn't it? Yeah, Stalin was no joke, man. We didn't get into it, and I don't know if I even want to go down that route with it. But Stalin was no joke, man. Man, the part that is just the elephant in the room is, with every communist dictator, they come in and they eliminate their competition. What was it called? It was the Red Purge, I believe. Stalin came in and literally just unlived anybody who was against Stalin was unlived, took over the land and the farms, and took control of the food. And then you have starvation, and great with propaganda, but very little on substance and morality. But even with the darkness of all that, you can find some good things. You can take some good things out from that. That's what I want to know, what that is. I have to be more well read on Stalin, though. Yeah. Glad to watch the news with y'all. Yeah, cool. All right, everyone. Well, let me see this. Middle Maga. Melopoly says, Middle Maga, Senator Dick Durbin blocked a request. That's what you guys were talking about. Yeah, I saw that. And my thought is it a surprise? We've got a big flaw in our system. Who checks the politicians when the politicians are the ones that did the illegal acts? And then the FBI, CIA, they all cover for them. Now what? Where are we at? I don't know what Dick Durbin's. I haven't read it. I just saw that. I didn't read about it. I don't understand why that would be a thing, to block the request for the Epstein flight list logs. That makes you look at, are we really slaves? If the Defense Department fails their audits and nothing happens, doesn't matter. You can't fail your audits. If they fail their audits, nothing happens. Nobody cares. Nothing happens. They step all over the First Amendment, even the Second Amendment too, and others. And they block the request for the Epstein flight logs. Are you really free? Still grateful for life. You're gonna have fun this weekend and all that. But I don't know if you can really say that you're free. And that's part of the argument that Noah was having with the communists. He's like, okay, the system that you're under right now, are you really free? So is that an argument you're going to use against the communist side? I'm obviously not on the communist side, but it's a fair statement. I'm not going to lie. No, we're in a facade right now. Old Jim Bob says, Osiris, I noticed you focused on commonality. That chat was quite feisty. Oh, yeah. I like that. I mean, it's fine. I don't think there was anybody out of line in the chat. Yeah, the chat for the MAGA versus Marxist, the Marxists are they're very, very confident in their positions. So, yeah, they're very, very strong in their positions. And I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm learning from them. So I'm not going to be arrogant or strong in something I'm still trying to learn. I don't even really fully understand their positions. So that's where I'm at. I want to understand where you're coming from. And I think that's why I want to go with Stalin or whoever. I don't know what other leaders probably Lenin, of course. But let's look at Stalin. I want to look at Stalin and talk about what good things happened from Stalin. I'm not even sure what the philosophies would be. I mean, they might go to Castro too. A lot of them like Castro. And I could see there's some good things to take from it. TNT Cycle says the voters should check them, but we have a lot of sheep. The crowds are lions. Yep. And then you're right. We're the checks and balances. So the president gets arrested 4 times on complete nonsense BS charges. And the country knows because his polling, I don't like to go to polling, but you get the vibe that everybody knows. And the only recourse at this point is secession. I don't see any other recourse. There's no government. There's governors can do something. Like Ron DeSantis could say, wait a second, none of this works. I'm a safe haven, or, I'm a sanctuary state from now on. And there's plenty of other things that a governor could do. AGs could sue. We're not seeing any of that. You can do an ultimatum. You could threaten to leave the union. You can do a lot, but it's not happening. So people have to start taking some power control. TNT Cycles, thank you for $5 super chat. Tell me about the comic book real quick. Been curious. Yes, Isom. The comic book here for Isom? Oh, yeah, man. I would liken Isom to a cross. Isom is the main character here in this comic book. This is by one of my favorite creators and inspiration, a bro I think very highly of, Eric July, who took, if you don't know Eric July, TNT Cycles, I think you would really like him. He is one of the most articulate guys to explain libertarianism in a simple way. And he does it through basically every one of his political videos. But this is not a political thing. This is his comic book. This is his first version of his comic book, Isom 1. And in this book, we learn about Isom, and he's coming home to Texas to help his sister out, and he meets some old friends, or you could say enemies. And this is Yaira, one of the most exciting characters out. The kids are waiting for that Yaira book, but we ordered another book, the Alpha Core. But this is Isom here. Isom is this dude right here, and I would say he's a cross between Luke Cage and Batman. And I don't know if he would like that. Young Ripple would like that, but that's why I like. He's very much of a reserved type of superhero. From what we've seen so far, doesn't really want to use his superpowers unless he has to. But then also is very. We learn in Isom 2 overcomes adversity very well, which is not a surprise. Just like Luke Cage and Batman. So this is he wrote this. He wrote the book. He hired Gabe El Taib to do the color work, and this is Cliff Richards. Cliff Richards did the art. It's great stuff. So I'm a big fan. That's a Ripperverse is what it's called. And we got Isom 2. I don't even know if I have Isom 2 by me. Nope, I just have another cover. That one is an unopened Isom 1. Then we have this. This cover is I like this cover. I probably should have made this cover the unopened one. This is the classic Isom. This is the one like in history. This is the cover you look at for the first book. It's good for kids too. It's very, there's nothing in it that's really, bad for kids. There's a couple very barely cuss words, but you see the family. You see Isom's family in this one a little bit. I think that's probably what you're going to see in 3. It really brings it together. We got good characters in 2. I'm really excited for Gooding. The Gooding book too. More of a tech type guy, freelancer. You could even say libertarian type, contractor type of dude. I like tech. So I might even be more excited about the Gooding book than even Yaira. And I'm very excited for Yaira. I'm going to spend quite a bit of money on the Yaira one. Because that's written from that one, I'm wondering if that one's going to be kid friendly. Because the Saska twin, they write some graphic novels. Like they put the graphic and very, very talented, very good, but they will go edgy. They're much more edgier. So these are pretty very, the Isom books are very, I would say, there's nothing abrasive about them, but you're going to see the Yaira book, that could get dark. That could get in a good way. That's going to be much more edgier than the Isom books. I still haven't done a full breakdown of it. I really have to, I just have to get better with managing time and everything. Power Man and Iron Fist. I don't remember. Why does Iron Fist sound familiar? Let me look that up real quick. I don't remember Power Man and Iron Fist. Which one is that? Let's look that up. Who is that? Oh, is that Marvel? I'm not familiar with that. See, I'm not a big comic book head. I did, read your typical comic books back in the day, but I've never even heard of it. Now that I see it, maybe I've seen it before, but that was cool. Yeah, I only got so much money to spend on stuff, man. I subscribe to so many people and stuff, so I don't know if I can cop it, but yeah, I'll check that out. Maybe I'll go back to the library, see if they got any of those. They probably don't have those, but because those aren't very popular. Metalopoly says, so happy for Eric July. He did all of this without the help of mainstream comic companies, and the left hates him despite the fact that he's a black dude. It's very similar to Tesla. It's very, not that Eric July is like Elon Musk, but he didn't do any advertising. What I mean by that, he didn't pay for, you still do marketing. His show is marketing. He does a lot of marketing and appearances and guest appearances and stuff like that. But he has not, to my knowledge, paid for advertising. It's all word of mouth. They hate that by itself. Forget about him being a libertarian and really going after leftists in a way that really gets them in their feelings. Forget all that. Just from the standpoint of he did the comic book, didn't even have to do a Kickstarter. He had enough people that rocked and rolled with him throughout the years, saved up his money. And I talked to my sons about that part too with the comic book. Telling them, like they know who Eric July is. They've seen a lot of his, he swears a lot, but they've seen a lot of his videos. And I talked to them about, he created that. How did, I talked to my kids about, well, how do you do this? This is high quality stuff. This is not a cheap comic book. This is high quality comic book pages and stuff like that. This is not cheap. This is serious stuff here. And I talked to my kids, like, how do you do that? How can you come up with that? You gotta have money. So Eric July grinded for years and obviously saved his money up. To my knowledge, I don't even think he took loans out. Who knows? But I don't. From what I listened to him, he didn't take any loans out. He saved his damn money. Didn't buy a Lamborghini or a Tesla Model S Plaid or something like that. Saved his money up, and this came quicker than he even expected, as far as the ability to do it. So he put up like 200. I'm not saying anything secretive. I've heard this from his lives. He put up, I think, $250K up front for the ISOM. Then it sold, I think, 3.7 million or something like that. That might include shipping, but still, he made the money back and more. And now he's doing animation and all that. But that's just business. I mean, one of the brightest business minds out there. He breaks it down very simple. It's an inspiration. And I got to do that. I got to figure out, if you don't really have, I mean, you can do it as a hobby, and that's why I hope at the very least I can keep doing the show. But if you don't make money, you're not going to be able to grow or anything like that. This is straight up marketing, straight up business. So he's an inspiration on that front. Now he's hiring everybody man, it's crazy, man. He's hiring people to write and do more stuff. And the Alpha Core graphics, the Alpha Core screens, or I forget the comic book jargon for it, they look amazing. I've showed them before. They look cold. So I'm really excited about that. They were talking about how Yaira 2 was in ISOM 2. There was a little cameo. But my kids were looking for Yaira on every page, so we saw that easily on the first time we saw it. There weren't too many white women in the ISOM 2, so it was very blonde white. We saw there was Yaira. I didn't know there was even that much of a Easter egg. That comic is thick. Yes, 95 to 100 pages, I believe. I think this one's almost 100 pages. Yeah, so I like that. I'm used to the comics back in the day that were, 20 pages long, which is good because it kind of leaves you hanging and you want the next one. But I like this better. This is the perfect length. It's not too short, not too long. Because you want to leave people wanting more. So that's the perfect length for me. Never heard of ISOM before. Yep. I don't know where he got it from. I don't know if he got it from African lore or something like that. But yep, that's it. Got to make money to sustain your art. Yep. You got to get into business. So I got to get better educated in marketing and business and all that kind of stuff. You look at Tim Pool's a brilliant businessman. Eric July, of course. Those are the top two guys I look at in kind of the streaming world. But of course, Crowder. There's a lot of, Quartering. Jeremy the Quartering's a brilliant marketer. Sydney Watson. I'm a big Sydney Watson fan. She's solid.
How is this a thing? Seriously, how?
So yeah, let me take a look at the comments. I'll be out here in a second. That's cool. I have to check it out. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth checking out. Now that you have got the two books too, the two books together give you a lot of meat for the ISOM. Then for this story arc, there's only one more coming for that. And he's going to have different styles. That's what I like. He's going to have different. The Alpha Core one is going to be more of like a police detective one, it looks like. And then the Yaira is going to be, that one might do. I don't want to overshoot it, but that one might do. It could do 10 million. I'm not joking. That one could do. I hate to put that much on it, but I think that one could do 7. That right there, that one could do 7 mil, because the character is so intriguing. We don't know much about Yaira. We don't know much about her superpowers. We're learning more now, and we'll probably learn more in Alpha Core, just a little nugget or something. Somebody in the live, and then the Saska twins, I tweeted it, and the Saska twins liked it or retweeted it. I forget who. Someone in the live was like, Yaira is like the girl that's sitting down at the end of the bar that you want to know her life story. That's exactly how the Irish stuff comes across to me, which is the perfect anticipation going into selling a product. I think Osiris has merch. Yes, if you go to the store, I do. I got to kind of get my merch right. But yeah, I do have, if you go to middlemaga.com and go to the store, I do have merch. Different, I got the Mega Man, I got the Black Heart, got the American flag. I want to do some new merch. I want my merch to be, I've been trying to trial different things that are like phrases of, I'm very big right now on American equivocation being over, meaning there's no more, oh, we got to welcome the immigrants in, even if they're not really seeking asylum, and, that type of stuff, whereas the toxic tolerance, that's got to end. And I'm just trialing different type of phrasing with that to put on shirts, but I haven't put that much. So plug that. Yeah, I'm very bad at plugging stuff. But if you go to middlemaga.com and go to the store, then you'll see it. But I'll probably try to do a push when I get the new gear. Honestly, I'm going a little bit. It's no beef to MAGA. I just got C3P memes shirt, and he's got the C3PO with the MAGA hat on, and I got that. But I'm kind of going away from MAGA because, my issues with MAGA being too not just pro-Israel, tied into the Israel thing. And that's unacceptable for me. So I'm more into, I have like different phrasing. I have one that says like eat, and they all stand for different types of ways of saying American equivocation is over, basically. But we'll see we'll see how they look. I don't know. Probably making it too complicated. We gotta do some Christmas stuff. I gotta put Christmas lights up, man. Get that going. All right, y'all. I appreciate it. I'm gonna be out. Thanks for checking out the channel, and I'll try to do it if I feel like I'm going to be able to do a live, I'm going to try to get that word out, at least on YouTube, as quickly as possible. Boring Life says Team US, huh? Yep. US first, unequivocally American first, period. I wear my F Commies Salty Cracker sweatshirt. People love it and hate it. Yeah, Salty Cracker has some good gear. That's the homie, man. His videos have been off the hook lately. There's a lot of videos that he's done that I wanted to do that I probably still will, but that's one of my favorites. And talk about a great marketer, great content. That's an inspiration, man. The salt must flow. Yep, and he just does it in a way that makes everybody who talks about Salty Cracker, you smile. Yeah, that dude, man, when he's in the live and he's got joke after joke after, and he's just naturally, it's something to behold, man. One of the best out there. All right, y'all, I'm going to be out. Appreciate it. Take care.